Previously on Hunting with Tripler.
Let's turn that around. This thing will sell for over $100. For all things, this happens to be the Iceman, and the only reason I wanted it is because it said Switzerland on it. This one retails for well over $200 new.
What's happening, folks? Tripler here. It is early on a Saturday morning, and we are out waiting for one sale to present itself, or to at least show us where it's at. We're all out here. In fact, here's some footage real quickly. Those are all the guys who have come after me in hopes of finding the same vintage video games. There was a sale posted and it looked like there were just boxes of it. So I did email the lady to see if I could come and get it early, and she was very adamant that Saturday was the day. But unfortunately, no address. So everyone's kind of driving about the neighborhood. It happens to be two other garage sales right in this neighborhood, and they've been bombarded by all of us who are waiting for this other sale to sort of reveal its location. Anyway, so we're starting off this to see if we're gonna be right at the front of the line or if we're gonna be the end. And needless to say, this is kind of the first time I'm actually gonna wait it out and hope to get some video games. Let's cross our fingers. Let's see what happens, but I am not holding my breath. Stay tuned.
I collect so many things. Would you like to share this journey with me? I will show you the prizes I got today. So come along with me, come on and join the chase. Yeah!
Still no leads. We are at 7:15 now. I've been camped out in this area since 6. It's a long time to be waiting to find out where a sale is located. I'm getting nervous. This looks dope. Thank you. Okay, it's over. Saw the footage, and I was not the first one there. Yes, again, I was the first one in the general vicinity, but the guys who were camped down the way that you saw the footage of, they were actually right next to the sale. They were right on top of it, and I didn't even suspect that they knew, but somehow they did. And by the time I had, I parked up the street from them, and when the sale had opened, I mean, I even saw the guy shake hands thinking he was just another buyer coming to just sort of wait as well. And it turns out that that was the guy opening the sale. I went down the street and waited another 15 minutes and then was like, you know what, I'm just see what those guys are doing. None of them were at their cars, and I'm like, wait, oh no! So I was late. I did get a lot of cool stuff, and I stayed for probably, I don't know, I stayed for like 45 minutes. I mean, I meticulously looked through every box. I paid up. I paid a total of $300 for everything. I'll show you what I got. It's pretty substantial, the amount of stuff. I mean, I filled the entire car. The Sega Genesis in-box, complete in-box, was actually a nice pickup for me because I think I want to display that one, and I paid nothing for it. And then you guys tell me, was it worth having gone to this one sale paying $300, or should I have skipped that and gone to, 5-10 other sales in the community? I think I made the right decision, but we'll do the recap and let's see what the numbers say.
And there I have a Buddha fountain, fun. Okay, now they're not here, and I don't remember what so.
Alright, so the Game Boy SP I got for $1. It is a cracked screen. It came with 4 games, but I got it because the cracked screen, I know you can replace them. Is it worth my time to do it? Probably not, but what I would do is I would just sell this entire little tiny bundle for $19.95, 20 bucks, and walk out of there with a heck of a score for $1. So that was worth it. Here are the games. That's the one I was referring to. Not sure what that might be worth, if anything at all. American bass fishing. Boy, those are a dime a dozen. Then Risk and Clue, and then Operation Mousetrap, and Simon. And then this was a nice little surprise. I think this is the second one, Super Mario Land 2, and that was inside of the Game Boy. So, all in all, for $1, I'm quite happy with that. I got to give you an image of, and I'm probably not going to pronounce this correctly, Akai, A-K-A-I. It is a reel-to-reel player. It's the X200D. Here is the, what I believe is the Akia X201D, not the 200D. This guy said that it was working, but the stereo sound output didn't seem to be working properly. The phone input worked just fine. So I think actually I'll do pretty well just selling as is. And I got it for $10. I got some cassettes as well, a couple of tiny toy trinkets that just kind of throw-ins. I got it all for $12. The reel-to-reel player retails on eBay right now for about $300. Now he said it worked with the exception of getting the output speaker to work. He said the headphones worked. So I will probably sell it for parts, and if I can get, say, just 115, 120, because I believe it's going to be about $30 to cover my shipping, and if I pull back, you know, $70 on just that easy pickup, I will be very excited. So that last stop ended up being pretty good. I was able to buy the Yamaha DSP A3090 for, well, that plus a poke, a center, and 2 left and right speakers. I got this Suzuki really kind of strange instrument, and this is the Suzuki Cue Cord. It is so cool looking. I don't really know exactly what it is. I mean, obviously it's some kind of synth keyboard type thing. But the good news is that it has really been rarely used. I think the comps for this are really good. So that's the model number. And like I said, I think this might have been the find of the day. But I got all of those items combined for 80 bucks, and he was happy to let it go. I got a Sony and a Sylvania, or it might have been a Philips. Either way, I got both of those items thrown in for $80. It was a Sony and a Sylvania or Philips, one of the two, VCR DVD recorders. So, I mean, total between all of those items, I will literally get about $400 or $500 from that $80 investment. Now, it's a bit of work, so you know you always have to gauge when you're buying big electronics that you're going to have to ship these things, and that can be a pain. But if you've done it many times, you start to get in a rhythm. You know what boxes you need to get, you know, package the thing properly. You start to get used to that. And if this Suzuki instrument turns out to be maybe more than what I expected to be, I might be looking at $500 or $600. So, all right, Cobra Commander, pretty sweet little item. It's nothing crazy. I think it's probably worth 25, 30 bucks, but we'll start adding them up here. Absolutely had to grab this karate kicking Kimberly So this is obviously from Series 1, and you saw in a previous video where I snagged a whole lot of this. This is actually completely new in box. It's still sealed there, so I'm guessing this is probably going to be about 20 bucks as well. So that's cool. So these X-Men figures ended up being massively overproduced, and no idea what they're worth, but hopefully I can pop up here what the value of these are. My guess, my hope here is that I'm looking at, you know, 10 to 15 bucks per in-package figure. And maybe one of these is more rare. Maybe this Q is a little more rare, but I doubt that would be. But in any case, hoping to get at least 65, 70 on just what you see right here. Okay, here's the next lot of figures. Joey, New Kids on the Block. I only picked that up, of course, for myself. I'm not selling that. So another Q figure from Star Trek The Next Generation, a Borg figure. From the DC universe, we have Penguin, which I actually had that when I was younger. I remember a lot of those DC figurines from this sort of gold package. We also have the Silver Surfer. I do not know who this guy is. This is Long Shot. I never had that one. And then Strong Guy. Can't imagine he's worth too much, but again, this is a lot here I would hope to get at least 75 bucks for. I picked up a lot of G.I. Joe, and I do know there's a fair amount of value with some of this stuff. Again, I'm not familiar enough to know what I'm looking at and what kind of value I've got. It does look like there's some damage in some spots here, so I know that's gonna hurt the value, but I think in general there's definitely some good stuff. I don't know if you can see this, but it is the Invasion of Anzio playset. I'll post up here what it looks like. It says over 145 pieces, and this is probably maybe one of the more valuable items I picked up. It's going for 80 plus shipping on eBay, so that was pretty nice. A little surprise here. So we've got a Sega Genesis, and you can see this is model, I think it's second, definitely the follow-up model. I had this exact system. I know this is the follow-up model, but surprisingly what's in here is the original model, which I guess is this, it's, you know, it's fine. Not a big deal. I mean, I think the older one may have slightly more value. So Sonic's in there. We do have okay, so there's the OEM Sega RF cable. And it looks like we have one controller that is definitely in great shape. And looks like that is the OEM charger, so that's good. Kind of a weird bundle there. In any case, and then this is reflective of, I think this is the paperwork for the newer model. Well, anyway, happy to pick that up too, so that's in the lot. Here is the stack of games that I picked up, but many of them are empty cases, so let me separate what's here and what's not. We'll get a better sense of what we've picked up. Okay, so I've separated the cases from the actual games, and here are all just the cases, so really a big bummer. I knew it when I was buying them, but these tend to hold a fair amount of value, so I can lot those together and probably sell them for 15 to 20 bucks plus shipping. They all have the manuals inside, so like I said, that definitely helps retain some of the value. And then these are some of the Sega Genesis titles that are empty. Some of them have the manuals and the others do not, but that was such a bummer. Altered Beast is one of those in particular. I was just hoping it was there just to play it. As far as games that were there that I picked up, these were not like, you know, these aren't big scores or anything, but Pac-Man's always a nice title to have. I got T2, Sonic Rush for DS. I didn't realize I grabbed that, but it's just GoldenEye Rogue Agent for PS2. I, again, had no idea why I grabbed that one.
And then I've sold that before. That's $8 to $10 game. Game Boy Advance. This is Frogger Adventures. Don't know why I grabbed that game. I was happy I grabbed that. I think it's the demo. Picked up the manual for Mario Party 8. Eternal Champions. I actually had that when I was growing up. PS3 version of the same Unreal Tournament game. Devil May Cry. Not a good game. Jungle Strike. Game of the Year edition for Skyrim 5. So those are the games. Wait, actually, no. There's more. Spider-Man 2 for Xbox. 2 sealed copies of Codename Steam. They are not great games. I think those will sell for like $6 or $7. Game Boy Tetris 2. There's Tetris 1. Super Mario Brothers. I got this TI-83, I believe. TI-83 Plus without the back. Wah, wah. This is a Miss Pac-Man, Sega Genesis. And then this was kind of nice. I haven't been able to test it yet because all of my cords are at the warehouse. But for again, thrown into this bundle, that was pretty sweet. Let's check out these two systems here. Okay, 160 gigabyte PS3. Looks to be complete. There's the controller. There are the hookups, HDMI, system. So, the box with this particular type of system doesn't hurt the value. It doesn't help it tremendously. It's actually better in terms of shipping it with the box. That's the true benefit here. But I should be able to get about 115, 120 for this one right here. And I'll lot it with a couple of simple games that I have, PS3 games. 4 gigabyte Xbox 360 here. Let's see if I can figure out how to open it again. There we go. Looks like the paperwork's here. It's definitely used. It's in great condition. So the great news, the 250 gigabyte hard drive is in there. Sweet. As for the peripherals, looks like the connector there. Cables are down there. I do not see a controller, but to be honest with you, I have 1,000 of them, so I will easily be able to replace the controller on this. We're gonna round out the toys. This is a Batman model, actually. It doesn't go for big money. I think it's a $30 or $40 item. This is worth close to 100. It's a Comic-Con exclusive. Great series. The one that they just re-released on Netflix. Awesome series. A couple of these, the Black Series, I've sold these before. This Black Series does pretty well if they're actually in new condition, and both of these are still sealed. So I think each of these will bring in between 25 and 35 a piece. Cannot explain to you why I wanted this, but when I opened it, this character here was still sealed. So that's probably the reason I wanted it more than anything. It's in good condition. The box is a little rough, but I'm hoping I can get about 40 or 50 for this item. Stickers have been put on. Anyway, so the toy has been used. However, the guy is still sealed in the plastic there. So hopefully that's a win. So I don't know why, but I was able to grab that. That's cool. And a Thomas the Train set. I've been doing pretty well on these recently. No idea why there's a $169 price tag on this guy here. There's can't be rare. I doubt they're rare. I will look it up just to make sure I'm not crazy. But yeah, these have got some price tags on them. Certainly didn't pay anywhere close to that. Now, unless there's something going on here that I don't know. These are priced pretty high. It's priced at $50. Where would this have been at priced for $50? $9 for that one. Here's the Thomas the Train with a, again, that's $30. Here's one for $35. I've had, like I said, I've had success with the Thomas the Train stuff, so unless there's something crazy going on, well, grab that, the rumbling bridge, and then I showed you that. So, pretty cool. I like the Thomas the Train sets. I think they're nice. All right, to round off these purchases, this is the G.I. Joe. Looks like some kind of warthog. Does have a couple of the pieces here. These little side doors. I think this, not sure what this goes to. Again, G.I. Joe. More G.I. Joe. This is the Snowcat. I actually know that because it says Snowcat on it. Haha. This is in pretty rough shape, but this is this was actually, I loved this thing when I was younger. This particular series, the Tiger Force series, yes. It also has this jet. This, I don't know what kind of jet this is, but a lot of the pieces are there. There are definitely a few that are missing, but the way that this sells, I should get pretty decent return on this guy. A couple Ninja Turtles, some loose items down there, and that is that. And that is it for this week's episode. You know, I think the best item is actually going to be that Suzuki instrument. It's just so unusual, and I think it'll actually sell relatively well. But in any case, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.